The joy of driving an Alfa Romeo is something I think is one of those things people of my age and older, they discovered when they were young. They have the opportunity to drive an Alfa Romeo, even a lot of Italian cars, not just Alfas. And there's something about the gear change and the way the engine revs and the sound of the exhaust and the steering weighting, and all of these things go together to make it just a fun experience. You can't be overly academic about it. The cars aren't, none of them were ever perfect, but the mix of all of the factors put together make them addictive. You just want to drive it more and more and more. You want to go around corners more, and you want more opportunities to change gear and use the brakes and drive it fast and slow. And they are, as a sum of all the qualities that go into driving a car, they are rewarding cars. They're fun. They make you want to drive them more and more. Even if they have faults, you learn to drive around their faults and you continue to use them, and they make you grin. That's what a good car does.
I mean, they are fun cars to drive, I'll give you that. A lot of fun. I find with all Italian stuff, you're talking about that sometimes they're not perfect. Well, there's a few things that aren't perfect, but Italian cars give you this sensation of it's a real event. You know, there's the sound, it's all about the emotion, it's about how it feels, how it looks, not necessarily so much about how fast it is or how it goes. I think it just gives you all of these sort of sensory sort of things. Is that right?
That's true. Yeah. Like when you lift the bonnet on if you lift the bonnet on something really exotic, like a front engine V12 Ferrari or a Lambo or something, and there's half a dozen carburetors and there's significant camshaft covers on the cylinder heads, and sometimes they're painted red, and there's ignition leads everywhere, and you get that impression, even if you haven't even driven the car, you get that impression that there's something really important under there. And
or if you've got to work on it, you just get a real sense of dread. But
with it, you get the same, you get a version of the same thing with an Alfa Romeo. No matter how humble the car looks from the outside, or how utilitarian it was, or that it might have just been a normal 3-box saloon with 4 doors that people bought to get around. You open the bonnet, and under there is an all-aluminium twin overhead cam engine with a pair of Weber carburetors on the side, and there was something
impressive looking.
There's something impressive and exotic, and it actually speaks for the whole history of the company, because you start to realise, or when you learn about Alfa Romeo as a mark, and you are told things by lunatics like me, like the fact that Alfa Romeo took the first Formula One World Championship, and we had, as a brand, they had such a stellar career in motorsport from such an early period of time, and they had a forged link. They were part of the reason that Ferrari as a mark exists today. And you think that a little bit of that spirit is in every Alfa Romeo, no matter how humble it is. And that's what makes people like me so enthusiastic about those cars. It's not just the qualities that make you smile when you drive them, but that there's that piece of history tied up in every single car. And that's important.